Welcome, my people. A new video from Alexis Hidalgo Tech. Today we are going to talk a little about the Nintendo Switch 2. Here it is. Let me see if the camera is focusing well. Very well, Nintendo Switch 2. Now a little about the console and my opinions. And we are going to deny or talk or give an opinion on some of the things that I found on the internet, such as negative points and positive points of the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so what changes from the Nintendo Switch or LED, which was the one I had? Does autonomy change? There is Nintendo, the matter that lasts much less is real. It is not a lie. Despite having an LED screen and not an OLED screen, it changes the screen. It is obviously bigger, as you can see. Noticeably larger. Let's see if I can notice the brightness here. Noticeably larger change. Obviously the back, as the bracket changes that it does not support micro SD memory. Normal is a micro SD express memory that I have not bought because I have not seen the need yet. And well, it changes the system of putting in and removing our Joy-Con now through a little trigger, which is 100% magnetic. This changes too, and let me see what else I have here. Air ventilation above and below the screen is more powerful than those 120 Hz. The output is supposedly 4K, I say, supposedly 4K, because if you don't have a game in which you can appreciate 4K, you don't care. And HDR support also on the output, which is also very important. Or then what have I been able to do within my assessments? Note, outside of what the internet says, the console, economically speaking, is bad. We already know that. We already knew it with the old Switch. But the difference between this one and the other is that this one is heavier, which causes that here in the palms of the hands, that you feel like a strain due to the weight of using the console, and that even in some games one's hand gets tired or from pressing buttons or simply using the Switch like one usually does. If you play sitting with your hands rested, you won't have any kind of problems. If you play completely like this vertically, you will get tired. You will feel it here in the palm of your hand. And if you play lying down too, you're going to feel it too. So this is one of the things that I have been able to notice with my use of the Nintendo Switch. The battery, obviously, as I told you, lasts less. I played approximately 230H, brightness to maximum and screen brightness to maximum and audio to maximum, Mario Kart World, and 230H left, 19% battery. That's what I was left with then. The rest of the things like that at first glance that I have been able to appreciate about the Nintendo Switch 2. Now I'm going to tell you some little things that I have here about the negative points. And within the negative points, I am here in the Nintendo Store, and we are going to talk about the price of the games. Starting with the games, here in Europe, they cost between 59 and 60. It's the top price of a new game for a console. The games are already between 79 and 89. A considerable time in the price of games, the accessories, obviously, speaking of the Express Micros card, are $60 256 megabyte cards. Obviously, this is the official Nintendo one. If we go for unofficial options like SanDisk or Kingston, you can have it a little cheaper. We have the Pro Controller, it goes up to $89. We have the pair of Joy-Cons, it goes up to $90. On the Joy-Con base, it goes up to $35. Now there are some flyers. I'm going to put more or less everything. Here are some flyers for the Joy-Con for the Nintendo Switch 2. Obviously, to play Mario Kart, perhaps other video games of vehicles cost $20. This seems acceptable to me. They are still two pieces of plastic that you are going to put in, and with it inside, it is not an essential accessory either. Then we have the Bulto and all that interesting stuff. Now the Switch 2 has a mode that is mode C, which is like a camera, what they call game chat. And the game chat mode obviously works with a camera. I haven't configured it because I don't have a camera. I'm not going to start configuring it if it doesn't work at all. But the game chat mode is for you to put a camera on it. If you wish to buy that camera, it is 60. There is another camera that is in the shape of the plant. It costs 40, a single me and a 50. So it is worth buying two. And finally, the original 30 charger is more or less the same as the 109 base. There is well a 40 to chew, and finally what I call a dragon, which is the support that you put on the Joy-Con to tie it here. And it is also the stand that is used to use the EL as mouse one of the Joy-Con. Well, we are going to leave it here with the issue of prices, because clearly, if you buy this console, I bought it in $469 and bought the games a month later. That is the price, without a doubt, for a PlayStation 5 that is going to give you better graphics, and that right now has a much more attractive game library. Keep that pending. So we are going to deny or validate some of the complaints we have about the Nintendo Switch on the internet. And for this, I had here a list that I'm going to mention some of the most positive points, or K of the positive points. I have here, is the hardware more powerful? Without a doubt, the hardware is more powerful. All the games I previously played in the OLED suite here run much faster and with a higher FP level. The biggest screen is obviously a 1080 PHDR screen up to 120 Hz. A bigger screen looks better. It's still LED. It's not an OLED screen, but that's what it is. 8-inch screen. One of the criticisms that I had in relation to the screen is that they were able to, let me see if you realize, I don't know if you realize, they were able to enlarge the screen and cover all the black edge that you see there, so that it would go, so that it would be taken advantage of more, or in the opposite direction, eliminate those black edges and make the console a little smaller. That's my opinion. Either you use 100% of the screen or you make the screen smaller because the edges are too big. It's an opinion, the edges are too big. I would have operated that the edges were smaller, or that the screen covered 100% of taking advantage of 100% of the physical. Let's say from the console, so it has 4K output, F Assistant, PS or 120 FPS. In some games I have backwards compatibility. All the previous games work, or a large part of them obviously, but so far all the games I had work normal. The Javicos say that they are improved because at least the engagement is magnetic. The game chat that we already talked about, voice and video chat with built-in microphone, better speakers. I didn't talk about that, but clearly the speakers are well improved. Dock checked with ventilation, we already talked about that, and port LAN. Yes, it has a port, LAN has a wired connection port, and the D or C is a tiny bit bigger. Could it be said that he has improved? No, I haven't had anything. I haven't seen anything wrong with the DOC. The rear design of the DOC is much better. I'm even going to put some images here so that they look like part of the video, and I like the flat design of the front DOC a little better than the flat design behind than this one, but hey, that's what it says. It has record figures of 20. Well, a console that is almost 10 years old, the previous one came out 8 years or so ago. Yes, many people were waiting for him to give him pineapple and also stopped to use it, he says. Refined interface. Finally, the interface of the Switch was terrible. The interface of the store of the Switch, the purchase interface of purchasing games was extremely slow. My God. Finally, I put it in an excellent browser. On the Switch, it flows quickly. There are no bugs, there are no crashes. Everything works perfectly well. Well, those are all the negative aspects, and I already gave you my opinion on each one of them. And now let's talk a little about the negative aspects. The positive aspects are gone. Let's talk about the high price aspects. As I told you, the price of a PlayStation 5 came out approximately. The games are more expensive, and we already talked about that too. Battery life, we already talked about that too. All of that is true. It says there is a no BRR support on dock. It says it has no BRR support. I think virtual reality, I'm not very sure, but hey, it says that there is a lack of adaptive synchronization for the VRR. It says that Joy-Con presents it in drift. Honestly, I never had drift on the OLED. I didn't have drift on the first Switch, not normal either. And I don't think I'm going to have the Dritch in this one because I play a lot with the Switch in my hand and a lot with the Switch parked in the D or C, so I don't think it's going to happen to me. I hope not. I can't say the too fast Dritch thing either, so I have nothing to say about that. Limited game chat service, and with future payment, all payment now Nintendo Cloud. Payment now, I mean, not with respect to 6, but with respect to all. The consoles to all the providers of different types of services. Now I pay for Adobe, now I pay for Photoshop. Before you installed it and you already installed it once, and now you have to continue paying with a membership. Adobe is a myriad of things that have now become payments, which were previously monthly payments. Me, thank God, my editing program, Filmora. I saw an offer once when Filmora was starting an unlimited license, and I bought it. But it no longer exists. There are only monthly payments and annual payments, he says. GameCube emulation with technical glitches does not interest me. Emulates GameCube games. It is a high-end console of the latest generation. Limited catalog. Normal at launch. All catalogs are limited. Although it has been said that you games that are not 100% compatible can pay for compatibility the frames for additional seconds or extra with 5 or 6 euros difference. It says additional cost. We already talked about that about games. The different resale versions and all that. There is something I didn't know existed, which is the Game Key card, which is you buy the card to collect it, but you buy the card to collect it, but the game is not there. The game is only the permission to download the game. Then the game downloads it to you, and you can now save the card, and you will never use it again. And they say aspects of the interface, so lento. I can't say that. I've used the interface. The entire interface of the Nintendo Switch. It all seems very fluid to me. It seems very fast to me. Adding it, one of the complaints is that they should have come in different color combinations. The Joy-Con that is 100% black looks professional, it looks good, but I would have liked it to be 100% black, that it was not, 100% black, but that it was several colors as it was done. She looks more youthful, she looks more beautiful, more attractive. And well, so far we leave the Mira. I haven't played, I disassembled it to make this video and I lost 2% of the battery. Incredible. Well, we'll leave it at that. If you like the video, if you agree with me or not, leave it here in the comment. Until next time.